Hey, what's up, good people? I'm QC. Welcome back to this special edition of Talking and Grubbing. I'm back with more of my top 10 GOAT Super Bowl champions. At number 2, I have the 1999 St. Louis Rams. The Rams were coming off of a 4-12 season, one of the worst records in the NFL. This was Dick Vermeil's third season back in coaching after he took over a decade hiatus. And this team definitely needed to turn around and start winning, or there might be a lot of dire consequences. But they put it all together in the 1999 NFL season. They felt like they had the team that could go out and compete and win. They had the starter Trent Green, who they acquired in the offseason. But early in the season, Trent Green tore his ACL and was done for the season, so they had to turn to second string quarterback Kurt Warner. Now, Kurt Warner, for the most part, he was a journeyman. He was with the Green Bay Packers, then he played in NFL Europe as well as a minor league NFL team. And prior to signing with the Rams, he was working at a grocery store. But Kurt Warner finally got the opportunity to be a star in the NFL, and he took advantage of his moment in the spotlight. He, along with running back Marshall Faulk and wide receivers Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt, they created what they called the greatest show on turf. Excuse me. The Rams, they got off to a great start for the 99 season. They were 6-0. Now, they did hit a 2-game winning streak along the way with losses against the Titans and Lions. But the Rams regrouped. They ended up winning their last 7 out of 8 games, including a 7-game winning streak. They finished the regular season with a 13-3 record, the NFC West crown, and the number 1 overall seed in the NFC. The offense lived up to his nickname, the greatest show on turf, as they were almost top 10 in every offensive category. They were number 1 in total offense, averaging 400 yards per game. They were first in passing, averaging 272.1 passing yards per game. They were 5th in rushing, averaging 128.7 rushing yards per game. They were first in passing touchdowns, as they finished with 42 passing TDs that averaged out to 2.62 TDs per game. They were 11th in rushing TDs, with only 13 rushing touchdowns, which equaled to 1.23 TDs per game. And they were first in total points, as they scored 32.9 points per game. But also, the Rams were great on defense as well. But unfortunately, it got outshined by their offense. There were 6 in total defense, as they only gave up 293.6 yards per game. They were 20th against the pass, as they gave up 219.3 passing yards per game. They were first against the run, giving up only 74 rushing yards per game. They were 4th in points allowed, giving up only 15 points per game. They were first in sacks, as they finished with 57 sacks that equaled out to 3.56 sacks per game. They were 6th in takeaways, as they finished with 36 total takeaways. With the regular season all wrapped up, the Rams were ready to keep rolling on into the playoffs and finally reached the Super Bowl for the first time in almost 20 years, when they were last in LA. Now, in the divisional round, the Vikings definitely gave them a run for their money, but the Rams ended up prevailing by beating them 49-37, advancing to the NFC Championship game. In the NFC Championship game, you would have thought they dominated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with their offense. No, it was their defense that won them the game, as they beat the Buccaneers 11-6 to advance to Super Bowl 34. This was their first Super Bowl appearance ever since they left LA. And now they punched their ticket to Atlanta to take on a red hot Tennessee Titans team who had an amazing playoff run. Now, Super Bowl 34, it looked like the Rams were just going to dominate the Titans as they were up 16-6 late in the third quarter. But the Titans, they would not go away. They kept on fighting. They kept on grinding. They came all the way back to tie the game at 16 apiece. But then Kurt Warner found Isaac Bruce down the field for a 73-yard touchdown to give the Rams a 23-16 lead. But it was only with a minute 54 left. So that gave the Titans the ball back. Steve Air McNair, RIP, definitely had one more comeback in him as he was just slinging the ball down the field, hitting every open receiver in the final seconds. And then the Titans got to about the 2-yard line and looked like they were going to score and tie the game and send it into overtime. They handed it off to Dyson. Dyson was churning his feet with all the power he could, but the Rams defense stopped him short of the goal line and ended up winning their first Super Bowl title in franchise history. Kurt Warner was named Super Bowl MVP, rightfully so, as he had a monster game. He had 414 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and a 99.7 QBR rating. Marshall Faulk was pretty pedestrian in this game. He only had 17 rushing yards, but Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce cooked in this Super Bowl. Holt, he finished with 109 receiving yards and a touchdown, while Bruce ended up finishing with 162 receiving yards and a touchdown. I picked the 1999 Rams here because they were one of the greatest offenses of all time. Also, they had a pretty good defense, which was anchored by London Fletcher. Also, you have a few guys here that's in the Hall of Fame right now. You have Kurt Warner. You have Isaac Bruce. You also have Orlando Pace. And there's a couple of guys that need to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, like Torrey Holt, who keeps on being up for voting, but not getting in. And also Marshall Faulk. Plus, this was a great redemption story for two people. First, Kurt Warner. He was a guy that was just bagging groceries a year or two before. Next thing you know, he's back in the NFL, wins the Super Bowl, and wins Super Bowl MVP. Also, this was a redemption story for head coach and GM Dick Vermeil, who I had the pleasure of speaking with when he was enshrined in 2022 in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Definitely going to put the clip here in this video. He finally got that coveted Super Bowl he had been chasing ever since his days of coaching the Philadelphia Eagles. Also, this was a team that went from worst to first. All right, that's 9 down. We only got one more to go. Who do you think the number 1 team will be? You can leave it in the chat. Also, do you think the 99 Rams should be on this list? Leave all your comments in the comment section. Till next time, y'all have a good one. Love y'all to life. Salute.
Quentin Congress for the next question.
Hey, Coach Quentin Congress of Talking and Grubbing Media. How you doing? Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, what lessons did you learn when you lost Super Bowl 15 with the Eagles, and how did you apply it to the Ram? Well, to winning Super Bowl 34 with the Rams. Also, what were your greatest memories from that game against the Titans?
Well, what I learned, if I had it to do over again, going into after to the Super Bowl 15, the owner came to me the Sunday night after we beat Dallas to go to the Super Bowl and said, "I want to put a party on for the team." And I wasn't too hot for the idea. And I said, "Leonard, you're the owner of the football team. You have the wherewithal and the decision-making power to do whatever you want to do with this football team." So he puts on a big party Wednesday night, the bye week. I got the feeling that we were celebrating as if we already won the next game, and if I had it to, I don't think it's the reason we lost the game. I can give you the reasons we lost the game, but I think if I had it to do over again, I would not do that. I would say we don't have anything yet to celebrate. We have one more challenge in front of us, and you got to remember this. It takes the same thing to go to a Super Bowl and lose as it does to go there and win. I have great respect and admiration for my team that went there and lost, because I lost too. We lost. We were -3 in turnovers. Okay. You -3 in turnovers. I called the same play twice. It was intercepted twice. That's me, dumb head football coach. We were a little banged up on offense. Okay. I'm not making excuses. Charlie Smith, our starting flanker back, with all the speed against man-to-man bump and run coverage, couldn't play. He had broken his jaw. So we let him suit up and take a first snap of the game, and then he had to sit and watch the game. And my number 3 wide receiver, Scott Fiskey, had a stress fracture, and he couldn't play in his leg. So we were going with a younger person there, that free agent out of college. It was a good football player, but we lacked what we really had to get there. And we changed our offensive approach a little bit more. We took Wilbert and moved him outside a lot because he was a good outside receiver as well. But when we did that, we diminished the value of the running game. So, and these are mistakes that I made as a head coach that I didn't make the next time. But the second time, you got to realize this. I took 5 Hall of Fame offensive players with me. Okay. It didn't matter if I made or anybody else made too many mistakes. Those 5 Hall of Fame players are going to win most big games for you. And if you stop and think, 4 of them are already in the Hall of Fame, and Torrey Holt's been in the finals 2 years in a row. So, and that helped us. And Mike Martz did a beautiful job with the offense, and Jim Hannafin and Al Saunders. Our defense never got credit, but they were the 6th best defense in football, coached by John Bunning and Peter Junta. It was a complete, talented, gifted football team, man. We didn't even have a bye between the championship game win versus Tampa to go to Atlanta. I had to get on the plane like 4:00 Monday afternoon with the entire football team for the next week. What I did, maybe good decision. I left my entire coaching staff in St. Louis. And I said, guys, prepare for this game as if we were playing at home Sunday. So they wasted no time packing and all that kind of stuff. You don't know, you don't pack before you go because you don't know if you're going. Okay. So we win it. I left them there. Stan Kroenke flew him down there in his private jet, the part owner of the Rams at that time, on first thing Wednesday morning. They started our normal routine the rest of the week, and we ended up winning the game. But, we could have lost it very easily. Went down to that last play, and Mike Jones made the tackle to stop them from scoring. So Jeff Fisher had a good football team, did a great job of coaching. They pounded on us in the second half, and we hung in there, and we ended up getting the win. And I know Coach Martz, fine football coach, many times get criticized for the second time he went back with that almost same team 2 years later and got beat. They say he passed the ball too much. We threw the ball just as much in the game we won as they did the game they lost. And so whenever you lose a game, there's going to be people that take something and hang on to a reason you lost. long answer, excuse me.
All right, Coach. Thank you. Congratulations again.
Thank you.